Hi everybody, how are you all doing today? Crazy times we're living in. Get yourself a coffee, a drink of your choice, and have a seat, and we'll go over the next project. Now the next one we're doing is a conceptual landscape, and what that involves is part black pen and ink drawing and part collage. And if you're not familiar with collage, think of cutting pieces of paper out or pictures out and gluing them down to create a concise image. So this is kind of half and half. So what you're going to do is you're going to think of an idea for a landscape, and you're going to find imagery that suits your idea. And in this case, for my example, I'm working with kind of what's going on in the world right now. So I've found some imagery that I'm going to use, and I'll go through the basic layout and how to kind of get started. And then as usual, I'll post some samples, and you can go through those, look at the way I've started. I'm not going to specify a size. If you have a bigger pad like I have here to work on, that's great. If all you have is your sketchbook, then work that to your size. Like, make that your size and find your imagery to fit that. As far as imagery goes, I went to Goodwill and got a couple. You can see I'm using the selfie front camera here, so these are reversed, but I'm working from these two magazines. They had enough imagery because I did have a preconceived idea of what I wanted to do. So it does involve a little research. If you have a printer at home and you want to print images out, I'm fine with that. Do that. If I don't have that capability, I usually rely on school to give me my printouts. So I'm sure there's a few of you out there the same. But if you have magazines at home or books you want to cut up, or like I did, go to Goodwill, wear a mask, and try and get that done. That's cool. However you can come out with it. In the project itself, there is a minimum of 2 collage pieces. One must be human, and the other can be part of the landscape, buildingscape. It can be city or out in the country, whatever you want to do. I'll kind of go through a little bit of the imagery I'm using. I'll also end up switching the camera to a zoom in mode on what I'm working on. To start though, what you want to do is find your biggest image. I've got a combined image here. So I'm working with this image, and I kind of placed it where I think I want it to work from, and then I based my size on that. And having done that, again, I just realized that my bottom line here is crooked. Do some of your layout in pencil so that you 25. That was way off, a centimeter off. Do it lightly, but then everything will be finished, as I said before, in black ink. Now, once you have your frame done, if you want to, and I'll do this for you, you can go around and outline it with a black Sharpie and give it a border. But I'm doing this for you so you guys can see it. I hope you're all keeping well and getting outside. You need to get outside. The air and the sun is good for you, especially in these crazy times we're doing right now. Recent events in our times have been pretty devastating, and we all obviously have different opinions on it, but we need to build a better world, that's for sure. So there I have, you can see it. I just pointed at the camera. You can see it here. There's my framework. There's my basic canvas, for lack of a better word, for the collage. Now, I'm looking for glue. I know I have some. Glue, you can use glue sticks or you can use white glue. I know I have both here. My mess, but I can't find it. So, I'm gonna go with white glue, since that's what I found. And I'm gonna glue my first piece on. And at some point during this process, I'll zoom in for you guys. You want to make sure they're adhered well. My process, I usually get my collage pieces glued on first. I know I'm out of camera right now, you can see it with my shoulder or something, but I'm just putting the glue on the back of my one piece here. And just wipe it on your pants, that's what I do. So, gluing my first piece. I might not have to zoom in, this might be enough. Now when you're cutting these out, make sure that you're cutting them to shape. Don't just cut a square picture out and glue it on, that's going to look lazy. I did miss one sharp edge here that I should have made sure I got trimmed a little bit, but the other thing is, if you're using white glue like I am here, you have to be very careful. You don't want to get too much on the paper because your ink won't stick to it too well. So there's my first image, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue my next image on. It really doesn't take a lot of glue. You want to make sure the edges get glued down well. Now the idea, once you get into the actual ink part, the idea is to try to, as seamlessly as possible, blend your collaged images into the drawing. And you'll see by some of the samples that you can be very effective with that. So, I'm not sure if I can zoom this in. Just, can you zoom on selfie mode? I don't think so. No, apparently not. So here I have my two main, this would be considered the main images. And I will give you a close-up of this later. This is an image of Lizzo from Time magazine, but she's doing this Jesus Christ pose, and it just seemed perfect for the idea that I have. So, and then I have her coming out of water here. Just kind of an interesting concept that I'm working on. So I'm going to cut this here, and then I'm going to resume with a close-up view. And I'm back. I'll try and stay out of the frame as much as possible. So now you can see I've got my main image. I've got a little piece of landscape that I'm going to place up here. And then part of my drawing will be to continue that image around there. So I'll just throw some glue on that. To be honest, glue stick's a little easier to work with and keep it off your drawing background. So here, and the paper, the other thing is too with white glue is the paper curls really bad. It'll flatten as it dries. So now I'm just going to start. I'm going to work right in ink because that's what I do. So I'm going to continue this building here. So I'm working using a little bit of perspective as well. We know what perspective is. So you can see there I've added the perspective of that building, and I'm going to follow the lines of the building. Throw the windows in there. And I'm just trying to follow the perspective of the buildings that exist in the picture. And there's some foliage down there. You can draw right over onto your drawing if you wish. I seem to be missing one of my pens. Shading. And it's not going to work. It's not going to be entirely seamless, but you do your best to kind of work the things together. Bring some of the imagery forward. See, now I'm working on this. I would advise you to let it dry because I'm picking up a little bit of wet glue here, and it's not letting my pen work as well. I'm going to carry that landscape all the way over here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just lining out the lay of the land. How I consider this to be going. And that gives me a horizon line. And if I want, I can add more buildings. I can draw whatever I want to draw in. I've got a few more images that I'm going to put on here. I need my knife. I know it's a little weird, but yes, she is holding an egg. And it's like you can see through the egg, and the yolk is kind of a a waning or waxing moon, whichever way that would be waxing, I guess. Might have to glue that hand down a little bit. So my image is coming together. I just want to see how that looks on screen here. It's coming. Kind of see how it's going there. She's holding that egg. Egg being the beginning or the future of mankind, I suppose. And I do have a couple more images that I want to put in here. Something happened to my, there we go. Sorry about that. Just trying to mess around with the camera while it's on the little tripod and it's tough. So I've got a little image there I want to place. So it doesn't really matter if you do some of your inking first, like I've done here, and you can glue right over top of it, or if you'd rather lay in all your pieces first and then. So you're looking at bushes and shrubs and whatnot in the background. You don't have to be too detailed with them. Just kind of, I tend to work a little bit abstract anyway. A little bit of perspective coming forward. Rocky terrain. Now as you come forward, you can see I'm just trying to add a little bit of it. You're going to be working flat, so your pen won't be running out on you like mine is here either. It's all about just incorporating the image. You still see that? See what I'm doing there? Sorry about that again. And I've got a couple more images here, but I'm going to add those after the fact. I will try to post this once I get more done to it. Maybe I'll finish this one. I'm kind of liking the idea that I've got in my head. So you can get your layout done. I'll post the due date and I'll post instructions to go along with this. And I would work away today at getting this far. Do some rough sketches if you have to. Think about the imagery you want to portray. I encourage you to, if you want to get political, get political. If you want to stay away from that and just do like a pure landscape and image, you can do that too. Traditionally, this project has dictated that the human, or at least one of the humans in the picture, is yourself. I'm not specifying that now. If you want to go that route, you can. But you should definitely have fun with it. And I will post some imagery from this as I keep working on it. So style-wise, look at the samples that I post. Mine tend to have a little bit of a stylized look to them. If you want to try and achieve a more natural landscape look, and it can be landscape or city, as I said, that's up to you. But you kind of do you. So, like I said, think it through, have some fun with it. You're going to have basically a full week from today until next Wednesday, I believe, to work on that. Let me just check my chart here. So your mechanimal that you're working on now is due June 5th. And your conceptual landscape starts today, June 3rd, and will be due June 10th. So that is next Wednesday. Yeah. Then after that, there's just basically two more projects to do. So have at it, have fun, stay well, guys, physically and mentally. I know these are tough times, and I really hope you're getting through these okay. Stay strong, and we'll talk to you soon.